students, I welcome all the students in the session of English language. In the last session, we studied the poem Song of the Open Road by Walt Whitman. So in the second session, I had told you that appreciation of poem is one of the significant activities which is set below the extract given of the poem. So let us see today what is appreciation of a poem. So students, when we appreciate poem, what we do exactly? So when we appreciate any poem, we try to recognize the good qualities in the poem. Secondly, when we appreciate the poem, we express our attitude to look at that particular poem. Thirdly, we can say that when we appreciate the poem, we evaluate or we analyze the poem at the level of title, at the level of poet, at the level of genre, at the level of rhyme scheme, poetic devices, language style, and the message conveyed by the poet. So when we appreciate poem, we look at that particular poem from these different aspects of the poem. So let us first of all discuss the title Song of the Open Road. So the title Song of the Open Road is appropriate as it signifies Whitman's thoughts of the free life, about the free life. Secondly, the word song in the title signifies or reveals the joyous attitude of Whitman towards the life. The second word in the title, that is open, reveals or indicates the freedom for all. And the last word, road, is about the journey of the life. And therefore, the title Song of the Open Road given to the poem is very much appropriate. Let us come to the second point, that is theme. So when we appreciate any poem, we also think of what is the theme of that poem. So if we take the example of the poem Song of the Open Road, so the central idea or the theme of the poem is about the freedom and optimism. The poem Song of the Open Road also expresses the poet's confidence about his own life. The poem also describes that the poet doesn't depend on anybody, he doesn't expect good luck from anybody. He is strong and content enough to face the challenges coming on his way. And therefore, this world, this earth is sufficient for the poet to make his journey of life successful. So this is what the poet wants to say in the poem Song of the Open Road. Then let us come to the next point, that is poet. We have already discussed about poet, that the poet is American. Walt Whitman was born in 1819 and was died in 1892. The poet Walt Whitman was essayist as well as a journalist. He has also worked as a teacher. The poem Song of the Open Road has been taken from the collection of the poem Leaves of the Grass. The poet's poem, O Captain, My Captain, on the death of Abraham Lincoln is widely popular. So in this way, when we appreciate the poem, we are supposed to discuss the title of the poem, the theme of the poem, and also about the poet. Now let us come to the very significant aspect of the poem. When we appreciate poem, we need to think what genre it is. For example, whether the poem is a sonnet or ballad or elegy or ode or lyric or dramatic monologue. If the type of the poem is a sonnet, definitely the poet will have 14 lines. The poem will have 3 quatrain. Quatrain means the stanza of 4 lines and a couplet. So in this way, the structure of the poem varies as per the type of the genre. So the present poem, Song of the Open Road, is a dramatic monologue because the speaker of the poem is the poet Walt Whitman himself. He speaks with himself and there is nobody to respond Walt Whitman, and therefore the form of the poem Song of the Open Road is a dramatic monologue. Then the next point is rhyme scheme. Actually, the form of the poem Song of the Open Road is a free verse. This poem doesn't have rhyme scheme. The poem Song of the Open Road is written in free verse form. Free verse form means there is no rhyme scheme, no metrical pattern, no rhythm. Means the poem is in the open form. The purpose behind using free verse is to concentrate, to focus on the theme more than the musical quality of the poem. Then the next point we are going to discuss is poetic device. The poet Walt Whitman has used a number of figures of speech like alliteration, repetition, metaphor, paradox in this poem. Let us take one example. There is one line where we have the expression like need nothing. So in this line, the sound n is repeated in the beginning of 2 words, need and nothing, and therefore this line is an example of alliteration. So in this way, we come across different kinds of figures of speech in the poem Song of the Open Road. Let us come to the next point, language style. So when we appreciate the poem, it is very important what type of language the poet has used in that particular poem. For example, when we analyze the poem at language level, so we need to find out whether the poet has used the pictorial images or other linguistic style in the poem. So this is very important to assess the poem at the level of language. Now let us come to the last point, that is a very significant point, and that is message. So every poem, every lesson, every piece of literature has a definite message. The poem Song of the Open Road has also a concrete message to be conveyed to the readers. From the poem, the readers get motivated to enjoy nature and traveling. After reading the poem Song of the Open Road, the readers are encouraged to be bold and courageous to face the challenges in the journey of life. The poem Song of the Open Road also teaches us the optimism and to be happy in the healthy and free world. So in this way, the poem has the definite message for the readers. So this is how we discussed the different points which should be added in the appreciation of the poem. Let me revise all the points which should be discussed in the appreciation of the poem. First of all, we should start the appreciation of the poem with the title of the poem. Then we should write down in short the theme of the poem. If asked, we should write something about the poet of that particular poem. Then we should also discuss the focusing element, the specialities, the structural points of that particular poem, like the hand scheme or the language style. Then poetic devices. As I told you, we find out varied figures of speech used by the poet in the poem, and therefore we are supposed to give some examples of figures of speech used by the poet in the poem. Then the last point is message. In the last of the appreciation of the poem, we must mention what type of message the poem is conveying. So today we have discussed the different aspects, the different points of the appreciation of the poem. So you do the appreciation of the poem Song of the Open Road as homework, and then I will assess the appreciation of poem Song of the Open Road done by you. Thank you.